39-year-old Troy Phelps is behind bars and charged with kidnapping and murdering 18-year-old Kendra Marie Hanks after the missing teen's remains were found in a creek. Kendra was reported missing on the 8th of July 2022 after she failed to return home from a place of work on the 7th of July, located along Ingram Drive in Roseburg, Oregon. On the 13th of July, Kendra's body was discovered in Cow Creek in the 9000 block of Cow Creek Road in Riddle, Oregon. Her body was found with puncture wounds to her chest and neck, and an autopsy determined her death was a homicide. Detectives reviewing the case developed a timeline of events and identified Troy Phelps as a suspect. The authorities said that on the 7th of July, Kendra left work at around 3:30 p.m. when security camera footage showed her walking along Highway 42 towards her home in Winston, roughly 5 miles away from work. She was wearing a dark blue hoodie, jeans, yellow checkered shoes, and she was carrying a black backpack. A burgundy Saturn Outlook that's believed to be owned by Troy was captured on camera footage, circling the neighbourhood where Kendra lived at around 4 p.m. that day. It said that the driver of the Saturn made contact with Kendra, and she got into the vehicle at around 4:13 p.m. It's unclear if she entered the vehicle voluntarily. Kendra could be seen in the passenger seat of the vehicle through a roll-down window at around 4:16 p.m, apparently in distress. The vehicle was next seen on security camera footage at around 4:18 p.m, with the windows rolled up. The vehicle was then seen at about 4:35 p.m, heading west on Riddle Bypass Road, towards where Kendra's body was found. Detectives say that cell phone data shows Kendra was in the vehicle at the time. At around 5:30 p.m, a Saturn was seen driving through Riddle towards Pruna Road, where Troy was known to have lived. Detectives say that a man matching Troy's description can be seen driving the car. At around 3:35 p.m. on the 21st of July, Troy was arrested at his home along the 1500 block of Pruna Road. Troy is held at the Douglas County Jail, and he faces charges of first and second degree murder, second degree kidnapping, and resisting arrest. 18-year-old Jacob Hills of Grand Blanc, Michigan, has been found fatally shot in the basement of a vacant apartment in Detroit after attending a party with friends. The events unfolded on the 23rd of July 2022, when Jacob had spent a leisurely afternoon with his family on a boat. That evening, he travelled to Detroit to go to a party. The following day, his family grew concerned that they hadn't heard from him. They tracked his location to Dearborn Heights, where they found his car and phone, but Jacob was nowhere to be seen. Dearborn Heights police put out a missing persons report and began investigating the matter. That night, Jacob's father received an anonymous phone call saying his son was in the basement of a vacant apartment on West Warren Street. Detroit police went to the location and found Jacob's lifeless body with multiple gunshot wounds. Jacob's mother, Sadie Hills, said that her son bought an AR-15 on the 22nd of July from a store in Grand Blanc for practice shooting because he was leaving for the National Guard on the 10th of August. Jacob reportedly had the gun in his car when he drove to Detroit the next night. Sadie believes his son was lured down there because of the gun and his graduation money. She explained that the police found his son in a pool of blood with his shoes stolen off his feet. Detroit Police Commander Michael McGinnis, however, disagreed with Sadie's statement and said, "We do not believe he was lured into the city. He willingly came into the city. After he was in the city, he encountered someone that decided to take his life," he said. The investigation into the matter continues. On the 27th of July 2022, Florida mother, 34-year-old Andrea Dunmire, was charged with aggravated manslaughter in the death of her infant son after he was exposed to meth. Andrea was already in custody and was last week sentenced to 8 years and 9 months in prison after recently being identified for her involvement in the meth trafficking ring that put dozens of pounds of meth out on the street. Andrea's baby was 4 months old when he died on the 9th of December 2021 in a camper behind a vacant home located at 1695 West Euclid Avenue in DeLand, Florida. Andrea contacted 911 after finding her baby was unresponsive. The investigators found that Andrea shared a bed with her baby and that the infant slept cradled in her arms on a fold-down couch while meth was stashed in her bra. The medical examiner's report stated that any amount of meth in an infant can be considered fatal, adding because the 4-month-old was completely dependent on the actions of others for feeding, and because of the neglect in allowing an infant to be exposed to controlled dangerous substances, the manner of death was deemed to be a homicide. A concurrent investigation into Andrea's trafficking activity found that on the 7th of December, 2 days before the infant's death, she requested 14 grams of meth from a supplier. On the 13th of December, 4 days after her son's death, she reached out to the supplier again to facilitate another deal. She's been held in custody since the 22nd of December 2021 and will remain in custody on her current charges.